what we never talked about. Every family has a story, but some families have chapters nobody wants to read out loud. We smiled for pictures, we celebrated birthdays, we sat around the same table, but there were things we never discussed, things hidden behind. We're fine. I grew up thinking silence meant peace. I didn't understand. Sometimes silence is just pain that nobody knows how to name. This is the truth about my family, the things we buried underneath. The smiles look perfect from the outside, but nobody knew what lived beneath. We learned to keep our secrets, we learned to swallow what we felt. Everybody said we were together, but together doesn't always mean we're well. I remember the house, same walls, same rooms, same family pictures, but every room had something we weren't allowed to discuss. Arguments behind closed doors, long silences at dinner, questions answered with another question. I learned early how to read a face, when to stay quiet, when to leave the room, when somebody said I'm fine, but their eyes said something different. Nobody taught me how to talk about pain, so I learned how to hide mine. We weren't bad people, we were people who didn't know what to do with what hurt us. And sometimes pain gets passed down without anybody intending to pass it. I used to think the people who hurt me didn't love me. Now I'm older and I realize sometimes people hurt you while they're fighting battles they never learned how to talk about. That doesn't excuse the damage, but it helped me understand where some of it came from. Oh, this is the truth about my family. We loved each other through the pain, but love without communication can leave somebody carrying the same. Whoa! We inherited fears, we inherited silence, we inherited things nobody wanted to explain. But I don't want to pass it on. The cycle ends with me. For years I blamed one person, then another, then myself. I built entire arguments inside my head. Things I wished I had said, things I wish they had said. Apologies that never came, questions that never got answers. I wanted somebody to admit they were wrong, so I could finally feel justified in everything I felt. But eventually I realized waiting for an apology was keeping me tied to the wound. I can't change what happened, I can't rewrite my childhood, I can't make people become who I needed them to be. But I can decide what happens next, and that's where my power begins. I can't change where I came from, but I can change what I carry forward. Oh, this is the truth about my family. We weren't perfect, we were hurting. Some of us were fighting silently. Some of us didn't know what to say, but I refuse to let the past become the future of my name. The things that broke us yesterday don't have to break us again. I wonder sometimes what my parents were like at my age, what they dreamed about, what they were afraid of, what they lost, what nobody noticed when they were young. Maybe they had wounds they never learned to heal. Maybe somebody told them to stop crying. Maybe they grew up believing love was supposed to be hard. Maybe they thought providing was enough. Maybe they didn't know how to say I love you. Maybe they said it without words. Maybe I was too young to understand. I'm not rewriting history, I'm not pretending everything was okay. I'm simply learning that people can fail you and still have loved you. Both things can be true. I wish families could sit down without keeping score, without saying you did this, you did that. Just, I was hurt, I didn't understand, I needed you, I didn't know how to show it. Imagine how many generations could heal if somebody was brave enough to start that conversation. Whoa! I'm breaking patterns, updating, create, learning communication. I was never taught learning forgiveness without pretending nothing happened. Learning boundaries without hatred. Learning love without losing myself. I don't want my future children to inherit my unresolved pain. I don't want them to think silence is normal. I want them to know they can talk, they can cry, they can question, they can disagree, they can say that hurt me, and still know they are loved. It's the family I'm trying to build, not perfect, just honest. The truth about my family isn't that we were monsters. It isn't that we were perfect. It's that we were human. We loved. We fell.